All right. So today we're going to be talking about one thing that you can change today that can help boost sales and leads in your business. So, let me know. Do you ever feel like you have just jumped into the deep end of the pool and you're treading water or maybe even drowning? Do you feel like you're sitting here thinking, man, who am I to even be telling someone how to do a business or to go on social media or to talk about whatever it is, blank, share whatever it is. And maybe you've got some experience with it, maybe you don't, or maybe you just think you don't. But I want to share one tip today on how you can actually shift that mindset around. Now, if you're feeling like that though, drop me hashtag imposter. Now, this is something that I've felt on many occasions. So my name is Levi Hunsaker. I'm with JillandLeviHunsaker.com, and we focus on coaching and training business builders to actually grow an online brand, to help them, work their business and create this online presence and ecosystem so that you can actually grow your business with a broader reach. So if you are joining us live, go ahead and let me know where you're joining in from. And I'll try to keep my eye on the chat. It's a lot easier when Jill's in here with me. But it's late and she's already in bed. So let me see. Can I get there? Okay. And if you're catching us on the replay, go ahead and drop me a hashtag replay, and we will actually come back and we want to interact with you. So just let us know where you're jumping in from. And so this imposter syndrome. Now, a lot of times we're going to talk about how this is a great thing for you, but it can be scary. There's fear. So think about the first time that you jumped into the deep end of a swimming pool or into a lake for the first time, right? As you're learning how to swim, and that first time that you did it, what were you thinking right before you're like standing on the edge, ready to make that leap? What was going through your mind? Are you thinking about all the ways that it could go wrong? Are you thinking about what you need to do once you get into the water? What's going through the 6 inches between your ears right before you make that leap? And then think about what made it so you actually took the leap. Was it an incentive? Was it maybe a friendly push from a family member? Maybe you got thrown into the pool and you didn't even realize that you were going to be doing it. And then it became the fight for your life. And then, once you hit that water, what started going through your mind next? Did you forget everything that you learned about how to swim, how to tread water? Did you start to panic? Did you forget the reason that you actually made the leap in the first place? So all of these things are going to happen, and they can all be happening within just a matter of a few seconds. And so you have all these thoughts racing through your mind. I remember the first time that I jumped into that pool. Let's just say that I had some helpful older brothers, and I was basically tossed into the pool, and it just became a sink or swim kind of a thing. Now, that does not mean that I was on my own, right? The same thing is happening in your business. You've got your upline, you've got other people within your company to help and support you, and honestly, Jill and I, we want to be here as a support and a resource to you as well. And so if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling like you're just barely treading water, drop me a hashtag lifeguard, because what I want to talk about today is the one thing that can actually help boost leads and sales in your business. So a lot of it comes down to storytelling and understanding what the story is that you're telling, but more importantly, why you're telling it. And then even more importantly than that, why you want to tell it in the first place. So let's jump right in. So the first tip is to know who you are talking to. So this is kind of a 3-step process. The first one is know who you're talking to, because if I'm talking to successful business owners, I'm going to speak differently to a successful business owner versus someone who's just starting out new. If I'm talking to a mom that has a job and is used to the corporate world versus a mom that stays at home with kids, the language, the experiences that I'm going to share to relate to that type of person, to different types of people, are going to be different. So you've got to get clear on who is your market, who is your audience. And then the second tip is, after you know that, it's what about your story is important to them. So think about that. What about your story is important to them? Why is it important for you to help them? And then dig a little bit deeper. So you might say, well, so for example, let's go down that route of, a mom with kids at home. So Jill has, that's kind of what she wanted to do for a long time, is spend time at home with the kids. And thankfully, I actually had a job that allowed her to be able to do what she wanted to do and not have to have both incomes for us both to be working, just to pay the bills. But that was something that we, for a long time, have been very grateful for. Still grateful for that, but we're both also headed down this business path, and we've been able to incorporate our kids into that business as well. Having them help with the business, help with pictures, help with content. A few weeks ago, we had our oldest son join us on one of these live videos. So, it's all about incorporating the business, because we want, we're not doing business and family separate. Like, our business is very much personal to us, and so is our family. And so in a lot of cases, those are incorporated together. So anyway, we get down into why is it important? Well, she's had a lot of experiences in that area, and I kind of wish she was still awake for this, because it would be great to get her insights. Maybe we'll do another video on this. But, we've had a lot of conversations around, the loneliness is maybe the right word. Maybe that's not the right word. So I'm coming at this from my perspective, and the conversations that we've had. But it's amazing that you can be around people all day long, but still feel lonely, because there isn't as much adult interaction. There's not as much, with young kids, as much intellectual stimulation in the brain that comes along with that, right? And so being able to be surrounded by other business owners, other people with similar goals, and to kind of brainstorm and mastermind with them, that has been something that she has really enjoyed a lot about kind of our journey into the business world. And why is it important? Well, we have been in these places. We have struggled to find new team members. We have struggled to even make sales in our business. And it's just one of those things where if we can turn around and help the next person along so they don't have to have as much pain. I mean, so let's have a raw and real moment here. I'm going to kind of take a side note here. This industry, for a long time, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. Like I went to school. That I felt like an imposter. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just learning. Um, and then, you get out of school, you get your first job, you still don't know what you're doing. You kind of get better, and then they throw you into a new role and you don't know what you're doing. Like, you continually go through these imposter syndromes. But marketing, selling products, that was never something that personally I wanted to do. And so I have spent a lot of time learning to even just talk to people in the first place. That was not a strong suit of mine for a long time as an engineer. I focused on computers and talking about technology, like being able to actually connect on a real level with another human being. Well, that just wasn't my jam. Um, but I have learned to do that. And when I first started, I completely felt like an imposter. Like, who am I to even be doing this in the first place? Who am I to be telling other people that they should join me? Who am I to feel like I could even lead a team? So these are all the questions that kind of rolled through my mind as I was trying to get started in business. But the great news is every business skill is learnable. So I felt like I was drowning. I felt like I was treading water. And I've been in this place of feeling stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to move forward. And for Jill and I, like, this is what we really set out to do here, is help other business owners in that similar place learn how to get unstuck, learn how to find people that are reaching out to them instead of chasing family and friends and anybody else that really has a pulse. So that's the focus for us. So dig deep and then keep asking yourself, well, why is that important? Why is that important? Until you reach that very end. And then by the end of it, make sure you're writing all this down, because that is your story. You now have a great story to tell. It's going to take some refinement, which is step 3. You're going to start telling that story. And this is where the true power comes in, because this is where you're going to start connecting with these people. You know the audience. You have actually gotten down to the root of why it's important to you. And the last thing is, you just got to start telling it. And honestly, you're probably going to suck at it at first. And that's okay. You have to be okay with it. So in a training recently, I heard this phrase, and I don't know who the quote is from, but it says, every master was once a disaster. Every master was once a disaster. So you have to be willing to put yourself out there to do something the first time and to get better and better and better at it each time. And when you can do that, you are going to be a fantastic storyteller. You're going to get great at this. And your story is powerful. Know that. Everyone has a powerful story. It just takes some time to uncover the details so that you can help the people that you're looking to help. You have an amazing story. You are going to be great at telling it if, and it's a big if you start doing it and be consistent at telling it. You've got to keep doing it. So you jumped into the pool and you just didn't know. You had the help, you had the lifeguard. You keep doing that, you get better at it, right? And eventually, the deep end of the pool, it's not scary at all. You just can go right out and do it. Well, what next? You're comfortable with it now. What's your next step? What do you do next? Do you just kind of hang out in the deep end of the pool? Or do you step over to the diving board and jump from higher? Or do you go up to the high dive and jump from even higher? I think the highest diving board I've jumped off of is in Lava Hot Springs in Idaho. What was that? Like 10 meters or something like that? I can't remember. But then they even have higher ones that I think at the time I was too chicken to do it, and I haven't been back yet. But anyway, so the next step is to find out what your next step is. Maybe you want to jump into even deeper water. Maybe you want to spend some time in the ocean. Maybe you want to get on that higher diving platform. Um, so I want you to think about this. Action is the greatest restorer of confidence. That's another quote that right now I'm not sure who said it, but action is the greatest restorer of confidence. So if you're sitting here feeling self-doubt and feeling like an imposter, the best possible thing for you to do is take action. So I want you to think, what is one thing right now? Just one thing that would be like amazing for you to do, but you've got some fear holding you back from doing that. That's kind of putting up a wall and saying, stop, no, don't do that. Instead, think about that thing, that one thing that's stopping you, or that you would love to do, and what is stopping you from moving forward. And here's what I want you to do. So if you got value from today, drop me a hashtag value. And then in the chat below, thinking about that one thing that you want to do and what's holding you back, let me know what is your very next step that you would need to do to accomplish it. That's all you've got to do. Let me know what that step is. And if you're like, man, I don't even want to share that publicly because that's kind of making it too real, go ahead and drop it to me privately in a message. Jill or I, or both of us will respond. But think about that one thing, what's stopping you, and think about the very next thing. It could be the simplest thing, as even just writing down what that thing is. What is the very next step towards you reaching that goal? Just a baby step. That's all we're asking for here. Drop it below or shoot us a message, and we would love to support you in that journey. So with that, have a great day. Change this one thing. Tell a great story, and get comfortable being uncomfortable. So have a great day, everybody.